Meet the Expert, a knowledge-sharing initiative of your knowledge partner, the Developing Bangladesh. We discuss on trade, investment, commerce, education, skills, economic development, global peace and prosperity, etc. issues. If you are interested to these issues, please subscribe to the channel. Developing Bangladesh, your knowledge partner, please subscribe now.
They have the writing skills, arithmetic was introduced, needlework was there, and the Islamic studies were also added into this. Moreover, the English language became the medium of the instructions because it was believed that the English language would make Indians capable of receiving knowledge across international borders. The modern school system was introduced in India, including the English language. And still we are focused on more on the English language, because it is a global language. And it was originally by Lord Thomas Babington Macaulay in the century of 1830. The syllabus was confined to modern subjects such as science, mathematics, and the subjects like metaphysics and philosophy were considered unnecessary. Teaching got confined to classrooms, and the link with the nature was broken, as they used to do in the Gurukuls. And also the close relationship between the teacher and the student was established. Education in modern India includes primary education, secondary education, senior secondary education, and the higher education. Numerous colleges and institutes have emerged all over the country to provide better educational opportunities to the students. Development of the education sector in India is one of the factors driving the nation towards the progress. Indian culture should be a matter of pride for every Indian anywhere in the world, and to keep that light shining, and these values have to be preserved. Now you can have a picture. You can see the picture. Indian education system has evolved from the ancient and spiritual Gurukul system to the modern scientific and online classrooms. The US remains the favorite destination for Indian students and is still perceived to provide the most credible education. The US still attracts more than half of all Indian students and the number of students who pursue higher education abroad. There is a culture exposure. Going abroad for pursuing higher studies puts you in a position to meet people from a different part of the globe and learn about their lifestyles. It could be an enriching experience for students during their academic years. But on the other hand, this unfamiliar environment could also have a negative impact, because staying away from the comforts of home could affect the performances of the students. They were confused, like there's a confusion while choosing a college. Some of the years when many of you are appearing of entrance, not probably deciding about the next institution, you need to put yourself in order to achieve specific education that you have chosen. Choosing a college is one of the biggest business decision of your life. You go to a college to learn useful skills and get a degree, and both of these bring multiple opportunities for you in the future. We have jobs if we are educated. In India also, there is no uniform hiring system as managers. Our companies visit colleges and universities to find graduates. Firms don't offer lower rank colleges, so many students miss out on good opportunities. Furthermore, foreign graduates who have studied abroad never get a chance to apply for a college placement. So if they have to get a job back in India, they need to look for it themselves. Finally, if I sum up the things we need to see, first we have to consider what a student needs in future to get a good college and a good job. The education must consist of the practical knowledge of the entire subject. See, this is very important point, because to get the knowledge through the books or through any source of knowledge, but we are not keeping those things in mind. We are not practically doing these kind of things. So I think there's the wastage of time on the education. So the practical knowledge is must. Since today's situation, English becomes necessary language, and in India, Hindi is our national language. So we should keep both in mind and teach it equally, like in every school, either it is a government or a private school, both the languages should be given equal importance. A school may take criterion that before lunch students and teacher must speak in English, or after lunch they must speak in Hindi. Through this way, we can easily learn and speak English without forgetting our mother language. Foreign language should be taught after teaching proper English, because until unless there is not a global language in between, we are not able to even get the foreign language. We are not able to learn the foreign language. So the conclusion is this: in the age of modernization, society is changing at a rapid pace, and there is a compelling need to preserve our value system and inculcate them within the generations to come. This interview is an attempt to draw the attention of the listener to the fact that education is the only medium that has potential to do the wonders. The poor were not given an opportunity to improve their lot in life. Females were also denied an education by virtue of the fact that they would get married, and so an education would be wasted on females. In contemporary society, people have realized that an education translates into opportunities and hope for the future. The ability to get an education, to foster creativity and curiosity, to seek answers will allow mankind to continue to grow. They try to encourage all students to reach for their fullest potential. An educated society is a developed society. If we wish our country to be a developed nation in the years to come, it is very important that these cultural values to be inculcated so that the feeling of patriotism may not be fade out. And at the same time, the new generation should learn how our mothers and women have made it possible over the years. Because education highlights three important aspects, which are intrinsic to India as a nation of diversity. And these are women, culture, and education. This explores multiple ways in which these three factors are closely knitted to each other and contribute in nation building. It also highlights the crucial role of Indian women in maintaining the richness and cultural diversity of the nation, and how they tend to impact them in their children and families through the Indian education system. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. A very rich, very comprehensive presentation on Indian education system. And now, if I would like to summarize your presentation, then I have to say you started with the word education is the most effective weapon of peace. Because if you have 4 or 5 kids, 4 or 5 brothers and sisters in your family, in an educated family, they are quite calm, humble, and cooperative with each other whenever needed. But in absence of education, this family, the family members, they will act, they will behave like anything. So maintaining peace in the family is quite difficult. Similarly, education makes a society happier, prosperous. But in absence of education, it is not possible. Similarly, for the country, for the nation, it is obvious that most of the citizens of the country will be educated, they will be knowledgeable, they will be skilled, they will be capable for contributing for the society, for the nation. So this is your starting point. You have very much just presented a dilemma, a differentiation, or a comparison between education and modern education. Because previously education was subjective and it was relevant to a teacher. Nowadays, education is objective, relevant to its skills, relevant to its job placement. So it is very important, because if a higher educated graduate don't have a job placement in time, he cannot contribute for his family, for the society, then this education is meaningless. Therefore, modern education with demand-driven skills, I will teach my students, I will educate my student, I will provide those skills to my student, which is essential in the modern factory, modern companies, modern industries, so that soon after the graduation, he can manage a job. So your comparison between education and modern education was in time. Finally, you just run down a story of Indian education system, starting with Guru Kunja and the house of gurus, and also the division of education for different castes. So it was really a barrier for mass people development, the casting system. Later on, it goes away. Then you started that India is the only place in South Asia which experience the Hindu education system, Buddhist education system, Muslim education system, Arabic education system, Urdu education system, Hindi as well as English with the British law, British rule. So all these 5 or 6 education system was experienced by India. So this is a very, very rich culture. It developed the Indian nation's mentality. So you have rightly pointed out it. Finally, you have said that primary, secondary, senior secondary, and higher education system, everything is meaningless if it is not contributory for the society, not contributory for the job placement or career opportunity of the students. So this is another very important point. You have conclude with some recommendation. Then without differentiation of caste, gender, differentiation of family background or location background, everybody should have equal right, equal access to education. And the education itself, not only history, not only religion, not only culture, education should be pro-professional. That means he or she will earn.
Developing Bangladesh, your knowledge partner. We take care of trade and investment, education and skills, economic diplomacy and economic development. If you would like to keep you updated on these issues, please subscribe to Developing Bangladesh. Thank you very much for watching till the last.